fight's not over.
Stop the fight!
People.
Everybody, I come here for everybody. Kill everybody. I'm the champ. I'm the king. Kill everybody. Ah!
All right, guys, welcome back to Broke Bets. UFC Vegas 92 in the Apex. Lane here with you. Always got my co-host with me, Carson.
Yo.
Yes, sir. Yeah, let's just get right into this. First fight, Oumar Sy versus Antonio Trocoli. Both these guys have a John Jones type frame for light heavyweight. Well, they're mostly trying to grapple in these matchups. And both of them don't look too coordinated with the hands. I'd say, I watched a little bit of Oumar Sy's stuff, and he's getting away with a lot because of his size. He can wrap his arms around people's legs with that long reach and get those double legs and stay out of trouble. He hasn't really had to face too many submissions. We're going to pick him here. I feel like just Trocoli's, I looked at some of the competition he's facing, and goddamn, they're fucking horrible. It'll be interesting, though. Both these guys, huge frames for this weight class, natural light heavyweights. It'll be interesting to see who can pull through. What do you think?
Yeah, this is an interesting fight. Lots of unknowns here. Trocoli hasn't fought in 3 years. And then 2019 is when he had his Contender Series fight. He won that via submission, neck crank. But he failed the drug test there, so was out for 2 years after that, and then fought in 2021 and hasn't fought since. So he's 33 years old now, so hopefully he's improved since then, but we just don't know from him. And then for Oumar Sy, he's super long as well. He threw an okay jab once in a while, but yeah, he's mostly trying to get the fights to the ground and work his ground and pound. He got taken down in one of his fights. Tomasek, I believe that fight was, KSW, and he reversed that super quickly and got on top and just hammer fist him out. So he seemed to have pretty good ground and pound, and yeah, he seemed pretty powerful as well. Trocoli on short notice here as well too. So.
I see this one going to a decision. I think it's going to be pretty sloppy. I think it's going to be a lot of just who can land top position after a takedown, and then it's going to be kind of hard for them to finish each other from those positions. So, don't expect a lot of violence. So, Sy by decision. Okay, for the next fight, we have Tamires Vidal versus Melissa Gato. Gato's coming in here as a big favorite, and for a reason. You just go back and you watch that Vidal fight versus Rendon, and she's doing leg kicks, getting her leg caught and falling down as soon as her leg gets caught. There's no recovery, there's no get up game, and just overall doesn't look good. She's somewhat out of shape. The gas tank isn't very impressive. Again, not getting up off her back. I just feel like Gato's got the tools. She's coming up a weight class here, but she was already kind of a bigger 125er. So I'm going to take Gato for a second round submission, work her way into the fight a little bit here.
Yeah, I think Gato will be able to get this fight to the ground, work a submission. Yeah, like you said, Rendon, or Vidal and Rendon in their last fight. That was a pretty bad fight there. So Gato was scheduled to fight like a couple months ago against Victoria Dudakova, but Dudakova pulled out. So here we are. Yeah, I think Gato will be able to find us up here.
A little bit of a trend here for these next couple fights is a lot of these people just got pulled out of a fight, or their opponent pulled out within the last month. So then there's this quick reschedule for a lot of them. So a lot of filler fights on this card, we'll just say. So. Yep. Gato submission round 2. Okay, for the next fight, we have Heili Alateng versus Kleydson Rodrigues. Close fight. You're looking at Rodrigues coming in at like 170. I kind of looked at this as a pick'em fight. I'm going to side with Alateng on this side. I feel like the natural size at 135 will pay off for him. As well as having a good gas tank and a little bit of wrestling in the back pocket. His record maybe doesn't indicate, I think, his skill level here in the UFC, but And I just feel like overall he could be on the front foot pushing Rodrigues back, and we might see Rodrigues fade. But what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I like Rodrigues here. Obviously, his last performance against Farid Basharat was not all that great in his move up to 135, but I just felt like it was a pretty bad matchup there. I think Rodrigues will be a little quicker here, and he'll throw a little more volume. Alateng likes to he's got wrestling in his back pocket, but I think Rodrigues will be good enough to avoid that for some of it, and maybe switch the positions and reverse him. But yeah, I like his volume and I like his hand speed.
Yeah, I agree. I think those on the feet will look very nice for Rodrigues. My question with him is where that speed will fall off a little bit. He looks very fast in round one, but when the fight gets a little gritty, I think he starts to slow down. That technique doesn't pay off quite as much. It's a lot of the times for these fast guys, so I would expect him to get off to a good start in this type of a fight, but then you don't really know what's going to happen in rounds 2 and 3. So, interesting matchup. I'm going to take Alateng by decision, and are you going to go Rodrigues by decision?
Yeah, Rodrigues, but we don't really know where Rodrigues is at. I mean, his one UFC win is against Shannon Ross, which is the can of cans. So
right. And iffy moments in the CJ Vergara fight as well. He had good moments and bad moments, kind of got robbed, but yeah.
Yeah, he did get robbed, but yeah. It shouldn't have even been that close. So.
Right. Okay. AlantengHeili decision. Okay, for the next fight, we have Piera Rodrigues versus Ariane Carnelossi. Carnelossi off of a huge break here. We're going to go with Piera Rodrigues. That ground game just looked straight up awful versus Lupita. I mean, Lupi's good ground fighter as well, but if you look, it looked like if you can get a single takedown versus her, you're kind of going to win the fight. She really struggled with Na Liang too in moments on the ground early. So Piera Rodrigues, not very good anywhere, but I think decent everywhere, and that'll pay off in a fight like this where she can, get the fight to the ground. So give me Rodrigues by decision.
Yeah, I feel like Rodrigues will be a better grappler and win those moments, getting it to the mat and winning the minutes on the mat with control. So, I feel like by decision too. I don't really see her finishing.
How does Carnelossi pass a drug test? I mean, these chicks that have like bulging shoulders and traps. I mean, traps is a big red flag for chick fighters. I feel like that has to be either crazy genetics or roids, and Carnelossi's got them. It doesn't really seem to help her much. She doesn't seem to really do too well. So, yeah.
Maybe that's why she was out for 2 years.
Yeah, maybe
under the table.
Yeah, she's gonna come in looking like Jailton Almeida. All right, Rodrigues by decision. Okay, for the next fight, we have Abus Magomedov versus Warlley Alves. Going with Abus, comeback fight. I mean, you're coming off Caio Borralho and Sean Strickland, 2 fights in a row. Didn't look great. He slowed down, but that's high-level competition against guys with great striking defense. And Warlley Alves, as young, he should be technically kind of in his prime just by his age, but he just has been on a bad roll, man. And finished in 2 of his last 3. Doesn't really look like he wants it too bad at a lot of moments, and slows down himself. So you kind of got 2 guys in this fight that could slow down, but I think Abus is just going to be dangerous in round 1. He'll be able to dictate the fight and maybe not burn as much energy like he did versus Sean Strickland, and I think he gets him out of there. So, yeah, give me Abus.
Yeah, Alves did not look very good body-wise, and his move up to 185 is very soft in the midsection. Magomed, he's super long, lengthy, but yeah, like you said, he slows down, and this is a comeback fight. I feel like this is a good matchup for him. I feel like he'll be able to put away Alves early. We're in the Apex too, so a little smaller cage, so he's not. I felt like in the Brallo fight, he was running around Brallo way too much.
Yeah.
And slow down from that. But yeah, Magomedov by KO.
The scary thing with Abus is, like, he's one of those guys where the fight's going his way, and then the second it doesn't, he's just kind of like, all right, this isn't my game anymore. And, that was apparent in the Sean Strickland fight where we're in the second round, and there's 4 minutes left in the round, and he looks up at the clock a couple times. You're like,
yeah,
dude, you're fucked. This is a 5-round fight. So
yeah, he just gave up. It wasn't like Strickland like knocked him out or anything. It was just he gave up, sat down, and just covered up.
And then in the first round, he was like having some great moments. It looked like he was gonna maybe even possibly steamroll Sean. He had a high kick that was close to landing, but also an eye poke that was pretty nice.
Yeah, maybe he does one of those to get a free 4-minute breather.
That'd be smart
against Bralo as well.
I mean, shit. I think about it sometimes where you bet on a guy and you're like, oh my god, he's so tired. Just go for a free nut shot and get a break. But anyway.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
Anyway, Magomedov KO round 1. Okay, for the next fight, we have Tom Nolan versus Victor Martinez. What do you think here, Carson? Who's your pick? What's your play?
Yeah, I think we got to go Tom Nolan.
What?
Both these. Yeah, he was just KO'd 4 or 5 months ago, but both these guys were KO'd in their last fight. Victor Martinez got KO'd by Jordan Levitt from knees in the clinch, really. Yeah, I mean, Tom Nolan's pretty entertaining, 24 years old. He's super long and tall, like 6'3". Super skinny, though, so he's very entertaining. He's going to come out there, balls to the wall. He leaves his chin up there, though. He's able to get hit, but yeah, I mean, he's pretty powerful as well. All 1, 2, 3, 4. His last 5 fights are all finishes. So super entertaining. I think this one ends early.
I remember when we broke down that Tom Nolan-Nicholas Malta fight, we put a red circle around it and said, this is one where your parlays go to die type of play. The under was the right move, and the under still could be a move here, or Nolan by finish. But like you said, leaves that chin up in the air, and he's just willing to trade for a 50-50. Mm-hmm. And for him, Mata was a guy who was also willing to trade for a 50-50, and it was just kind of who landed first. And Mata had hurt him early, so he doesn't really run that risk in this fight because Victor Martinez isn't like a one-punch knockout guy, and getting finished by Jordan Levitt by knees as well at his height. The knees of Tom Nolan will go through your fucking skull. So,
yeah, Martinez looked very sluggish in that Levitt fight, and in the clinch, he in that finishing sequence, he put his arms out to try to block him, and he it was very weird. He didn't know what to do in that situation. But he was coming off a 2-year-ish layoff in that fight, so
right.
It's about a year since that fight. So
he looks like a 155 or 145er to me as well. He looked like he was carrying some extra fat. Maybe that fight was a little bit on short notice, but
yeah, Levitt looked a lot bigger than him.
It's just one of those. It's like Jalen Turner versus a goddamn midget. It's like, well, Jalen Turner's going to run right through that person. It's the same thing here with kind of a Tom Nolan fight. It can't have that size discrepancy, especially at lightweight with these types of guys. So,
yeah.
Anyway, Nolan, KO, round 1. Okay, for the next fight, we have Ramiz Brahimaj versus Themba Gorimbo. Going with Themba, not a lot of confidence on this one. I've seen regional fights prior to the UFC, and you even go back to the AJ Fletcher fight. Gorimbo got taken down pretty easily, even though he likes to implement grappling of his own in a lot of his fights. I just feel like Ramiz doesn't have the cardio to go 3 rounds. I see him in the Court McGee fight, and the dude's fucking exhausted. Sure, you're subbing 2 guys with no ground game, Sasha, who is a kickboxer, and Gilmore, who should have never touched the UFC canvas in his life. Getting easy subs on those dudes, no fucking shocker. I can see Ramiz getting a takedown here in round 1, but then rounds 2 and 3 is going to be all Gorimbo with the better cardio. and better striker as well. So I'm going to take Gorimbo by a third-round submission. I think that it just gets too tired, and Gorimbo finds a way to make it on the ground. So
yeah, this is another fight with another long layoff. This is 2 years off for Brahimaj. All wins are by submission. 9 in the first round, 1 in the second round. So yeah, like you said, slows down, and if he doesn't get that first round submission, he's pretty much toast. I feel like Gorimbo's good enough to avoid the submissions early and finish him later in that second or third round. But yeah, it is a little scary.
We talked about it on like previous cards too. Just the era of the jiu-jitsu fighters is just falling and falling and falling. You can't do just the one thing anymore, and one-trick ponies typically get killed. So Gorimbo by submission round 3. Okay, for the next fight we have Emily Ducote versus Vanessa Demopoulos. Give me Emily Ducote. I mean, she showed that she's had takedown defense in her first UFC fight versus Penne. Vanessa, not great at grappling. I mean, she's maybe okay off her back, but that's all she wants to do. She'll pull guard. She'll be active from her guard, and that's how she actually won the fight versus that Japanese girl. And Ducote, I think she'll just keep it on the feet, land the better shots. But somehow every one of these fucking Vanessa fights ends up being close, and there's a lot of close decisions. Some split. Doesn't make me feel great. Obviously, not really looking for a bet on a fight like this, but Ducote, leg kicks, punches will be better. Just needs to throw enough strikes, in my opinion. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like Ducote will have the better stand-up, better leg kicks, a little quicker hand speed, more volume. Demopoulos just isn't that great on the feet. If she's able to get it down on the mat, she's all right. But yeah, I mean she's a stripper, so maybe she's trying to get that OnlyFans going. But yeah, I think Ducote wins this one on the scorecards.
I kid you not, the only reason I think she's still in the UFC is I know she has wins on her record here, but fuck, she hasn't been good. The only reason she's in the UFC is because she jumped in Joe Rogan's arms after that Juarez fight, however long ago. That's the only reason. That's the only reason why anyone knows who the fuck she is. So, yeah, she's a stripper, gone fighter, gone hopefully out of the UFC soon. So, Ducote by decision. Okay, for the next fight, we have Adrian Yanez versus Vinicius Salvador. I'm going Yanez. I bet him twice in a row. He burned me. Scary thing for guys is just like Yanez getting too boxing heavy, and like it's how McGregor came back to MMA and just took too heavy of a boxing approach. Well, Yanez somewhat similar in that way. I'd like to see him implement more kickboxing, but I think he's just far better than what Vinicius Salvador is. I'm going to take him by a first-round knockout. The hands are going to be better. The jab, he's punishing with the right hand. Salvador is making a horrible cut to 125 multiple times. Coming up here, maybe won't play as much of a size advantage, and Yanez can just touch him up for the fight. So, yeah, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Salvador and Ross, Shannon Ross, in their Contender Series fight had a good scrap for the 2 rounds that it lasted, and I was thinking that Salvador was going to be good going in the UFC. Obviously, that win did not age at all. Shannon Ross is not good. And then his 2 UFC fights are Victor Altamirano and CJ Vergara, losing both of them 0-2 in the UFC. I think this is a bounce-back fight for Yanez. We know what Salvador is now. He's not that great.
Wide punches, too. Just slow and wide.
Yeah, and he doesn't throw many of them. I think Yanez just touches and moves and bounce back fight for him, and he's eventually going to finish Salvador here.
Boom. Simple as that. Yanez KO round 1. Okay, for the next fight, we have Angela Hill versus Luana Pinheiro. Give me Angela Hill. Pinheiro will do exactly what she did versus Amanda Ribas, and she'll start real hot, and she'll do her judo throws, and she'll swing super hard, and she won't knock her out. She'll slow down, and Angela Hill will do what Angela Hill does in a lot of her fights and wins round 2 and 3 and get that decision. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Angela Hill throws a ton of volume. Obviously, it's a women's fight. She's not knocking anybody out, but she does do some good damage, good volume, and just outworks these guys pretty much in a lot of these fights. She's not slowing down at all. She's getting better as the fight goes on, and she's got really good cardio too. So, I like her to win a decision here.
Really quick, can you give me the last time there's been a finish in an Angela Hill fight? When's the last time she got finished or finished somebody? I can't remember off the top of my head.
In 2020, January 2020.
Who'd she beat?
Anna Sifris.
I don't even remember that. So, I mean, for how many times she fights a year, which is, I guess she's taking a break, but she had like 6 fights in a year not too long ago.
Right. That was,
But a decision machine, so look at that over. I think even if this does go late, Hill doesn't really have the power to finish it, and then Pinheiro might just pull guard if she's tired in round 3. So
11 straight decisions for Angela Hill.
Christ almighty, that's just insane. All right. Hill.
A lot of them split, too.
Yeah, split, most likely. Hill by decision. Okay, for the next fight, we have Chaos Williams versus Carlston Harris. I'm going with Chaos Williams. I think a lot of people will, go against him in this fight because he fought Bedoya, looked a little slow, looked rigid, missing a ton of strikes, going for the home run punch, and just failing. But I think there's an awkwardness on both of these fighters that actually gives Chaos an advantage here. They're both kind of rigid. Carlston Harris does that baseball punch where he'll load up his arm and swing it down. You can kind of telegraph it coming towards you. I just feel like Williams will probably land the big strike in this one. Bedoya was just faster, could cut and move, and his chin held up for that fight. But Carlston Harris, a little bit older. His fight against Jared Gooden wasn't extremely impressive. I mean, he had to take him down most of the fight and didn't really do much with a lot of the positions. Obviously, great comeback win versus Jeremiah Wells, but it is an iffy fight. So I'll take Chaos Williams, though. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a strong opinion on this one, but yeah, I do feel like a lot of people will be picking against Williams just based off his last 2 performances not being all that great. And then the Bedoya one, that did not age very well either, because Bedoya has like a minus 200 something, 300 something versus Kenan Song in his last one got beat up pretty good in that one.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, tough matchup to call, but I feel like Chaos Williams will be landing the heavier strikes, and I don't know, maybe finding a KO. Carlston Harris has been KO'd twice in that first round, so. Could see that as a possibility.
I'll switch it back to the first. I had it put to the first. I switched to the second. I was like, all right, you said first. We'll go with first. Yeah, again, the rigidity of both guys. I don't think there's going to be a speed advantage per se. They're both kind of similar. Chaos Williams, mostly, man, just get to the fucking basics. Get your feet set. He's kind of like Dreykus Duplessis. They both have this awkward kind of stance, and they rush. They jump at people in a strange way to throw their strikes. Get your fucking feet set, throw a jab, and put your right hand right behind it, and you'll knock people out. You got the power, so get the fundamentals down.
Yeah.
Anyway, Williams...
Just don't go for the home runs and just keep it simple.
Exactly. Williams, KO, round 1. Okay, guys, we are to the main event. As always, drop a like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Okay, Edson Barbosa versus Lerone Murphy. Carson, what do you think's going to happen here? Who do you going to take?
I like the side of Edson Barbosa. I really love his speed. Yeah, I mean did get tagged up quite a bit early on in his last one against Yusuf, but he was able to recover and take over in that fight. So he showed decent durability in that. His kicks are obviously very good, and he works the body a ton too. So I like all those aspects of his game.
Yeah, I mean, Lerone Murphy is he's borderline for me on what I think about him, because I feel like his performance versus Culibao wasn't super impressive, and mostly because he relied on his strength over Culibao, and we've seen Culibao have that issue just in his last fight with Danny Silva, and prior to that, even in a couple of instances. So, being able to out wrestle and put people in the cage isn't really impressive to me. And Murphy's looked slow, I thought, on the feet. Just the hands don't seem to come out at the right time. The actions, the reactions, they just don't look. They don't look in the right speed. And maybe it's deceiving because it throws his opponent off with that strange timing. But to me, it doesn't look right. And
in his last fight against Culibao in that first round, he threw like 5 strikes in that first round. It was like he just didn't do anything.
Right. And Barbosa's going to be active, and not to mention a 5-round fight makes this incredibly interesting to me, because Barbosa's been in so many 5-round fights, and Murphy, Barbosa's gotten gotten finishes in quite a few of those, but Murphy's, gone 3 rounds. I also think there's just this thing with English prospects that they get a lot of favor from the odds because they're English. I don't know. It's just a thing I recognize. It's similar with Paddy Pimblett, it's similar with Christian Leroy Duncan, and a lot of these guys, they just get a big jump because they're, from England. But Barbosa, like you said, the work in the body, and to me, the biggest thing is the combinations. Like when he was piecing up Sadiq in rounds like 3, 4, and 5, he was starting with a jab, going to the body, ending with a kick. So he's hitting you with 3 at a time, and it's hard to defend, and it's just racking up points for a decision. So I like Barbosa by a decision here.
Yeah, love the volume he throws with too. He has decent enough cardio as well. Yeah, underdog here as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I like it.
His cardio kind of confuses me because, he looks really winded sometimes when he's on the back foot. But the second that he could maintain his ground versus Sadiq, it was like, I hold all the fucking cards and you're fucked.
Right.
And it scares me early because Edson's gotten finished in these first rounds before, and people have seen that. You push him backwards, you succeed. The second Sadiq didn't do that, Edson's just like, this is my game. It's fuck you.
And took over.
Took over. And the spinning heel kick that pretty much should have finished Sadiq. I just did a little Trump hands below my desk. I don't know why. He's gonna beat him. He's a great fighter. All right, that one wasn't as good. Anyway, I like Barbosa by decision. Any more thoughts here?
Nope.
All right. And boom, guys, that's how it's done. UFC St. Louis coming off a sweep there, 4-for-4. Let's just start recapping it. Plus 3.28 units. Buckley, I think we got quite a bit of shit for even picking Buckley from a lot of people, just obviously because Ruzaboyev, Uzbekistan, anywhere in Northern Asia seems to get a lot of eyes on him. But like we said, Buckley got the experience late. Carson had that bet. Great bet. Just came through late, and honestly probably could have won by DQ with some of those late kicks because there seemed to be intent to hit Buckley in the head with them. So anyway, though, rounds 2 and 3 were easy with that huge size discrepancy. I mean, did well. Next, Derek Lewis. He could have beat this dude 10 seconds into the fucking first round, but man, Derek Lewis, his game plans are the worst. You just gotta, I know he goes for the knockout punch a little too much, but the clinching, man, what are you doing? But soon enough, he gets it done. His balls were hot, takes off the shorts, shows the crowd his ass. It's all good fun, but we all know Nascimento just didn't pose any threats on the feet, and then as soon as Lewis could land the one that counted, it ended it all. But man, yeah, game planning, trying to get a takedown, it's like, just knock the guy out, make me my money. Anyway, still funny, still fun. Next, talk about some easy ones. Olberg by KO. Christ almighty. I mean, I was the victim of Gabe Green having a horrible game plan against Brian Battle however long ago. And then you have Alonzo Menafield, who just gets himself knocked out in 12 seconds. And it's just the easiest bet on Olberg ever. I mean, you kind of hit/miss a punch, and then you fall down, and then you're dead. So Olberg just got him, and he wins by knockout. And yeah, a pretty easy win. And then finally, the easiest hit. I mean, man, McKinney under 1.5. This dude's never gone over 1.5 rounds in his career. At least I think. And obviously never gone the distance, never reached round 3. You go a minute into the fight, McKinney just doesn't have good instinctual defense. And to mention, picture-perfect head kick. It was just like Justin Gaethje's on Poirier. The flick of the right hand and then the right kick behind it, and just fucking right on the mouth. Terrence is just, dude, shoot a takedown. I mean, if you want to survive in a fight like that, especially since Esteban had struggles with wrestling. But had that parlay with Ricci over, and those girls just don't even have power to finish each other. So super easy win there. And yeah, just all around simple winning card. Let me tell you guys a little bit of luck in these betting cards. I mean, a lot of luck, because I look up and down the card the week before, and we planned a lot of these bets pretty late. I mean, shit, I had shit to do this week, and then some line movement got past me. I just forgot about it. I was gonna parlay Robeski and Olberg together, but Robeski just jumped so big to a favorite. I was like, well, it's not really worth it anymore. And how fucking lucky am I? I mean, he just totally gassed himself out, and Pinheiro won. Another one, man, I was going to bet the under in the Trey Waters-Billy Goff fight, and it was so fucking violent, but it went the distance. Like, the odds of that, and that's like the whole luck factor, like the luck of me not placing it, but also it could have easily happened. Another one. Chase Hooper, Villashaw, Borshev. I was looking at the under 1.5 in that fight. And, it missed by like 30 seconds or whatever. But I didn't place it. I got lucky. So just letting you guys know how a lot of this betting does go. I mean, there's a lot of things I got my eyes on. But for the most part, the bets we hit kind of with ease. I mean, obviously, Lewis is a little bit scary. I mean, Buckley went to the 3rd round. But they still took over for the most part. And they won by pretty much finish. Buckley kind of should have. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hope those bets did well for you guys. And of course, stay tuned to that Patreon where we're posting our bets. And yeah, that's it. Peace.
I know. It doesn't matter from the trenches. I'm built like this. The old doubted me said I couldn't do it. The all said I couldn't do it. Look at me now.